My name is Catherine David. I am 42 years old. I have been married to my husband Tom for 18 years. We have 2 children together, Emma and Jake. I thought I was a good wife and mother. I went to church every Sunday. I prayed before meals. I helped with church events. But when my heart stopped beating that night, God showed me something that changed everything. What I saw was not what I expected. Jesus took me to see a place where many married women go when they die. The reason shocked me. It was not about cheating or leaving their husbands. It was something much more common. Something most of us do without thinking twice about it. That Tuesday evening started like any other day. I made dinner for my family. Tom came home tired from work. Emma did her homework upstairs. Jake was at his friend's house. After we ate, I cleaned the dishes while Tom watched TV. Nothing seemed wrong, but I felt a strange pain in my chest. I thought it was just stress or maybe I ate too fast. But then the pain got worse. It felt like someone was squeezing my heart. I could not breathe properly. I tried to call out to Tom, but my voice was too weak. The room started spinning. Everything went dark. The next thing I remember, I was floating above my body. I could see myself lying on the floor. Tom was shaking me and calling my name. He looked scared. I wanted to tell him I was okay, but I had no voice. I felt myself being pulled away from the room, away from my house, away from everything I knew. A bright light appeared in front of me. It was the most beautiful light I had ever seen. Then I saw him. I knew right away it was Jesus. His presence filled me with both peace and fear. He spoke to me without words. I understood everything he wanted to show me. First, he took me to see many houses. From the outside they looked perfect. Nice gardens, clean windows, families that seemed happy. Some houses had signs that said Christian family on the front door. But Jesus told me to look deeper, to see what was really happening inside these homes. In the first house, I saw a husband and wife who barely talked to each other. They lived in the same house but felt like strangers. The wife spent all her time on her phone looking at social media. The husband watched TV and ignored her. They went to church together on Sundays, but they never prayed together at home. They never really talked about important things. They were not mean to each other, but they were not close either. Jesus said to me, "They think this is normal. They call it giving each other space. But I made marriage so 2 people could become one. Instead, they have become 2 people who just share a house." In the second house, I saw something that made my heart hurt. The wife seemed kind and gentle on the outside. She cooked for her husband and took care of the house. But in her heart, she kept a list of everything her husband did wrong. Every time he forgot something or said something that hurt her feelings, she remembered it. She smiled at him, but inside she was angry. She never forgave him for the small things. The husband had no idea how much pain his wife was carrying. Jesus looked sad when he showed me this. He said, "Unforgiveness is like poison. It kills love slowly. They think keeping track of wrongs will protect them, but it only makes their hearts cold." I felt ashamed because I remembered times when I did the same thing with Tom. When he forgot our anniversary or when he did not help with housework, I kept those things in my heart like weapons. In the third house, the wife looked perfect. She always said yes to her husband and seemed very sweet. But I could see she was controlling him in hidden ways. When he made decisions she did not like, she would become quiet and sad. She would not talk to him until he changed his mind. She used tears and silence to get what she wanted. The husband became afraid to make any choices because he did not want to upset her. Jesus said, "She thinks she is being gentle, but she is actually trying to be the ruler of her home. This is not love. This is control." Then Jesus showed me my own house. I saw myself complaining to Tom about everything. I criticized the way he helped with chores. I compared him to other husbands I saw on social media. I made him feel like nothing he did was good enough. I thought I was just tired and needed more help, but I could see how my words hurt him. Jesus said to me, "Catherine, many wives have forgotten that marriage is a holy promise. They treat their husbands like employees instead of partners. They have turned their homes into businesses instead of places of love." I started crying. I always thought I was a good Christian wife because I cooked and cleaned and went to church. But God was showing me the parts of my heart that were not right. Next, Jesus took me to see an even more terrible place. It looked like a beautiful palace with bright lights and music. Many women were there, all dressed nicely and looking confident. They were celebrating something they called women's power and freedom from men. They held signs that said things like, "I belong to no one," and "I don't need a husband." At first, it looked exciting and powerful. But when I looked closer, I could see the emptiness in their eyes. These women had decided that serving their husbands was wrong. They thought submission was old-fashioned and stupid. They believed they should only focus on their own happiness and dreams. Jesus showed me 3 types of wives who had been influenced by these ideas. The first type was like a business manager. She made all the decisions in her family. She controlled the money, chose where the kids went to school, and planned everything. Her husband just followed her orders. She thought this made her strong and smart, but Jesus showed me how it hurt her husband. He stopped trying to lead the family. He felt useless and small. The second type was always fighting for fairness. She counted everything her husband did and compared it to what she did. If he rested while she worked, she got angry. If he made a decision without asking her, she felt disrespected. She turned every disagreement into a battle about who was right. The third type called herself free and independent. She said she loved her husband, but she would not change her life for him. She kept her own friends, her own money, and her own plans. She said marriage should not require sacrifice. But Jesus showed me that her selfishness was destroying her family. Jesus said to me, "The world has taught women that serving others makes them weak. But I came to serve, not to be served." Real love means choosing to put others first. I felt sick because I recognized myself in all 3 types. I had controlled Tom in many ways. I had kept score of who did more work. I had put my own wants before my family's needs. Then Jesus showed me the most shocking thing of all. He took me to see what looked like a church, but it was full of false gods. Instead of crosses, there were statues of children, houses, cars, and mirrors. Women were bowing down to these things instead of to God. Jesus explained that many wives worship their children instead of Him. They spend all their time and energy making their kids happy, but they ignore their husbands. They think being a good mother is more important than being a good wife. Others worship money and nice things. They pressure their husbands to work more hours so they can have bigger houses and newer cars. They care more about looking successful than about having peace in their homes. Some worship their own feelings. They think their emotions are more important than God's commands. If they don't feel happy, they think something is wrong. They have forgotten that love is a choice, not just a feeling. I saw many women who were busy serving God at church but treating their husbands badly at home. They sang songs about loving Jesus, but they were cold and mean to their own families. Jesus said this made him very sad. I realized I had been guilty of all these things. I had put my children before Tom. I had wanted a nicer house more than I wanted peace. I had made decisions based on my feelings instead of on what God wanted. Jesus did not look angry with me. He looked sad and loving. He said, "Catherine, I am showing you this not to hurt you, but to save you." Many women think they are good Christians, but they have never truly submitted to me or respected their husbands. It is not too late to change. I fell down and cried. I asked Jesus to forgive me for all the ways I had been wrong. I told him I wanted to be the kind of wife he created me to be. Then everything changed. I felt myself being pulled back. I opened my eyes in a hospital room. Tom was holding my hand and crying. Emma and Jake were there too, looking scared. The first thing I said was, "I'm sorry." I told Tom I was sorry for not respecting him. I was sorry for trying to control everything. I was sorry for the times I made him feel small and unimportant. From that day, I started living differently. I began asking Tom for his opinion before making decisions. I stopped complaining about how he helped around the house. Instead, I thanked him for working hard for our family. I started cooking his favorite meals without being asked. I put away my phone during dinner so we could really talk to each other.